The only treasure a real mama cougar is likely to guard is her cubs. It may be 2 full years before they can fend for themselves. Still, the mother leaves them alone while she hunts for food, often for days at a time. And while the cat's away, young cougars learn the ropes through lessons of pure fun and games. These young cats do have a thing or two to learn. For instance, this badger can do without a playmate. Same with this rattlesnake. As it heads out on its own, a young cougar is in danger. It may stray into the territory of an older cougar, or get hurt taking on larger prey. For all their cunning, few juveniles make it to adulthood. Those that do need breathing room. Lots of it. Males may require up to 200 square miles. To avoid fights, they keep their distance from each other, while they share ranges with females. That way there's sure to be enough food and mates to maintain the population. In some areas, space isn't the only problem. Once, cougars flourished throughout the southeastern United States. Now, southern Florida holds the last remnants of a struggling population. That shouldn't be, because a vibrant wildlife community thrives here, including deer. And where there are plentiful deer, guess who's coming to dinner? Right, cougars, or Florida panthers as they're called in these parts. Trouble is, people saw panthers as a threat. Cash bounties were offered for their hides, and they were hunted mercilessly. By the 1950s, the panther was nearly extinct. Today, only about 30 remain in the wild. Peril is their way of life. Now, the biggest threat to these remaining panthers isn't hunters. It's this highway. Alligator Alley speeds up to 30,000 vehicles across the Everglades each day. Somehow, one panther managed to survive a hit-and-run driver. His name? Big Guy.
Hey, Big Guy. Shh, shh, shh. Look. Here's some breakfast. Come on. Who are all these people?
He was named by the veterinarian who pulled his shattered body from a roadside canal. Close to death, Big Guy was airlifted to the University of Florida Health Center. X-rays revealed severe breaks in his rear legs. Surgeons worked wonders on Big Guy, and he became big news in Florida. Big Guy helped launch a movement to save the Florida panther. Tunnels were dug under Alligator Alley, allowing wildlife to pass safely beneath. So far, it's working. A camera snaps them like shoplifting crooks caught in the act. Across the continent in California, in the last 25 years, since the state banned cougar hunting, the population has doubled to 5,000 strong. The human population has doubled too. In towns like Bishop in the Sierra Nevada mountains, cougars and Californians are crossing paths. Outside of town, ranches have expanded into what was once wilderness. Livestock have been killed, and people are getting nervous. Dr. Vern Blake, a veteran wildlife researcher, and Becky Pierce, a graduate student. They're making an exhaustive study of local cougars.
It looks a little iffy. Let me have a second.
Their research may one day shed light on what drives cougars to risk getting too close to people. For now, they hope to find out where local cougars come from, what they eat, and where they hang out when they grow up. The mother they are tracking is wearing a radio collar. Following her should lead them straight to the cub.
Jeff, I think those cats are right down in here. 40 miles or so down there. Way off. Good signal, man.
But technology can't compete with the trusty noses of a couple of lion hounds. Once they're within reach, the team relies on their dogs, Sackett and Poncho, to zero in.
Go on, put it in here, Jeff. Dogs walk.
The dogs have picked up the scent and are closing in on the kitten. Perched on a pine tree, safe and sound, is a frightened 5-month-old prize. Only 50 yards away, its mother waits among the rocks and trees. Even big cats aren't crazy about canines. When the team leaves, she'll surface and whisk her little lion away.
I'm getting ready to jump. I'm going to need a longer reach.
Vern and Becky must tranquilize their subject and fit him with a radio collar of his own. With a loop around the kitten's paw, they gently lower him down to waiting arms. The kitten may be drowsy, but this is no time to take chances. You better believe he can still inflict a nasty bite or scratch. The scientists work fast to get basic data. The cub's weight and length, the size of teeth and claws.
He said 30, close to 30. Okay, Jeff, let's go ahead and put the collar on now.
Finally, they slip on a tiny transmitter. The collar will stretch as he grows.
Well, this is a 5-month-old kitten, and it'll remain with its mother for perhaps the next 15 to 18 months. And as yearling animals approaching 2 years of age, it'll, in all probability, migrate from this general area and establish or wander until it finds an appropriate place to establish territory. That's a young male. It's got a long way to go before it's old enough to leave mom, and with any luck at all, it'll survive to adulthood.
If he does, he'll strike out on his own. According to this study, some cougars in this area don't hold to a fixed territory, but move with their food supply. Every summer, the deer herds migrate into the mountains, only to return to the valley in winter. When the mountain lions follow, it's inevitable that some bump into people. It's up to us to know what to do.
People need to treat mountain lions with respect. and understand, number one, they are very efficient predators, and they take down large mammals several times a week for a living.
Chances are, this mountain lion will someday cross paths with a human. If all goes well, both will come away unharmed. Back in Pacifica, Steve Carlin is treating his students to just such an encounter with a cougar named Lakota.
Hello, baby. Oh. This is not a mountain lion you would see roaming in the woods. This is Lakota. She was born in a small zoo. They couldn't care for her. She was given to me when she was only about
All the
a month
books and
old.
TV shows in the world can't compare to the real thing. To meet a cougar up close and gaze into the eyes of a truly wild animal. What a great opportunity for kids.
But she's never been named.
Lakota may seem like a visitor from an untamed world, but that world's the one we share.
Yes,
Oh, do they see like us? Are they colorblind or anything?
that's a really good question. Mountain lions can see better at night than we can because their eyes can open up a lot larger than ours. And mountain lions can only see black and white unless the object is really large and really close to them. Then they can see some colors. But other than that, they see black and white. Yes?
Do they make good pets?
Well, you can hear her grumbling a little bit now. No. Wild animals are never, ever, ever pets. It took 14,000 years to turn the wolf into a dog. It took 12,000 years to take the wild cat and turn it into the kitty cat. Wild animals can never be a pet. They can never be tamed. To work with them, you in your head have to understand their rules.
Steve warns the kids that wild cougars, mountain lions, are not to be trifled with. They're not called mountain lions for nothing.
She's a wild animal. Not mean, but powerful. Dangerous. Different rules, different laws.
Trading fear for caution and myth for facts, a new generation of Californians is striving for a new balance with wildlife. One based on the awe and respect that the cougar inspires and deserves.
Very elusive animals that people...
These wildcats are cool customers, surveying their world with assurance, grace, and guile from their high mountain dens to the hot shifting sands of the desert.